welcome back to College Crossfire. We have sitting to my immediate right our returning panelists from the first rounds. It's Renee, Quentin, and Adam getting in on the action. So let's go ahead and we'll dive right into our question. We've talked about Gus Malzahn going from Arkansas State to Arkansas. Now we're talking about a coach moving from a major program to another major program, with Bret Bielema leaving Wisconsin after he went 68-24 with 4 double-digit win seasons, and now he's moving to Arkansas. Now, panelists, what do you make of Bielema leaving what could be defined as a pretty successful program for the SEC? Renee, we'll start with you.
Well, of course, you know, to any coach, going to the SEC is going to that big, you know, cool conference where everyone wants to be, so that's, you know, good for him. That's probably where he's thinking. Then also, clearly Arkansas needs a new coach, and if they need a new coach and they want to stay surviving in the SEC, they're only going to look for the best. So they're probably willing to pay him a lot of money, so that's probably another one of his little incentives to go there.
All right, Quentin, what do you think?
I think it's a good move on his part. I mean, he's got to, you know, he's got to go where he can get seen, where he can get the most money. Of course, SEC is the place to be right now. They're making tons of money off their bowls and everything like that. They get the best recruits, so he's got to self-promote himself. He's got to make his own way. So I like his move. I mean, he grew up on a hog farm. So
but I mean, you know, you're talking about exposure. 3 straight Rose Bowl appearances. I mean, that's pretty good exposure.
That's true, and I don't know. I guess he's thinking that he can turn Arkansas around and make them a powerhouse. So good luck to him.
All right, Adam, what do you make of the move?
Well, he's lost a handful of those Rose Bowls, but he is a good coach, like you said, 68-24 record. But I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into. I mean, he's going to the SEC, playing against Alabama, LSU. He's going to have to compete in the recruiting process with that as well. And LSU and Alabama gets all that. And you look at when Urban Meyer came into the Big Ten and he was still at Wisconsin, he was complaining about Urban Meyer being an illegal recruiter and all that. I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into. The SEC is a tough division. But, yeah, he did it for the money, and best of luck to him.
All right, I'm going to have to go ahead and give the point to Adam here on this one. You know, it's a thing of where probably going for greener pastures, but you never know what you're going to get, especially when you're heading to a team that's sitting at the bottom of the SEC right now. Okay, now sticking down in the southern region, but we're going to go ahead and move into Louisiana, where the New Orleans Hornets owner, Tom Osborne, announced recently that for the 2013-2014 season, the Hornets will be called the Pelicans. That's right, the Pelicans. So, panelists, what do you make of the new name? Quentin, we'll start with you, buddy.
Okay, so this has to be a joke, right? This, I mean, it's not intimidating at all.
Do you not see our graphic? It looks like it's pretty real.
If I saw Anthony Davis's Pelican unibrow out there, it's not intimidating at all, and it can't get any worse for the Hornets right now. Like, they could at least try to go for some type of mean bird or animal or fish or something, but a pelican, I can't see a giant pelican mascot running up and down the side.
All right, but before we get out of this, I want to know what you think they should have gone with. Adam, what do you think about it?
I think the logo with the unibrow is really funny for Anthony Davis. But yeah, you know, not a good mascot name. I mean, and I get it. It's the state bird and everything. Well, what's next? The Longhorns? Are we gonna? I mean, is Texas going to be the Texas Bluebonnets? It just, I don't get how that really is a competitive mascot for New Orleans, and the Hornets was a good one.
All right. Renee, what do you think?
Okay, well, obviously they're trying to give themselves a new start with this name, you know, start fresh, start clean. But like they've said, I want to echo, Pelicans, not intimidating. Maybe they could have gone with alligators or even something Mardi Gras related, a little bit more New Orleans feel there.
All right, so you got alligators and Mardi Gras.
That's exactly what I was going to say, the alligators, something mean.
Bourbon Bayou Ballers.
Adam is just coming up with great phrases over there on the end. He's going to grab another point. All right. And now we're going to talk a little bit more NFL. We've gotten away from it. But, you know, after turning the ball over 8 times last week, the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to defeat the rival Baltimore Ravens behind a solid outing by Charlie Batch. Now, what did you make of Batch leading the comeback and his emotion, as you see here on the screen afterward? We'll go ahead and start with Adam on this last one question.
I thought it was a good comeback by Charlie Batch. I mean, I think he's a good leader in the sense at the quarterback position. He doesn't have the best skill set. He's definitely no Ben Roethlisberger, but I think it was a good win, and it was a great bounce-back win from that awful loss to Cleveland, turning the ball over 8 times. Good win, but ultimately the Steelers are going to need Ben Roethlisberger if they're going to want to compete and go for that division.
All right, Renee?
Well, I want to say that's kind of a great birthday present because today is his birthday, so he got a nice win in there.
This is president of the Charlie Batch fan club right there.
And then also it's it's great. He's playing. He's a hometown kid, so great there. And then also he's been playing backup quarterback for them for quite a while now, so it's great that he's finally getting to have that exposure and be seen by big people who don't follow the team exclusively.
All right, Quentin, what do you make of this?
I think it was heartwarming. You guys saw the hug there. That's just great. And he led them back in the fourth quarter. That fourth quarter touchdown. His first touchdown in over 2 seasons. Just it's good for him. And that could possibly be his last game if Ben comes back. Because after this season, he may not be back. So that was a good way to end it for him, and it was just a good feeling.
All right. I like where everybody's coming from. Everybody's going to go ahead and grab a point, but that means that Adam is going to go ahead and advance on to the next round. So we've been talking a lot about Johnny football over the past couple of weeks. Let's go ahead and get Stephen A. Smith's take on what he thinks about Johnny football.
Freshman, a red shirt freshman, a red shirt freshman, red shirt freshman, you're a red shirt freshman. You should do that as a red shirt freshman. That's a bad boy. I'm sorry, a red shirt freshman, a red shirt freshman, a red shirt freshman, red shirt freshman, you're a red shirt freshman. You should do that as a red shirt freshman. That's a bad boy. I'm sorry.
Too soon, they ain't ready for that number 2 and number room goes. Texas A&M, Aggies gig him to the death of me. Fumble balls to himself, confusing all the referees. Sitting in the pocket, he got all day. Try to rush that boy, and he's gonna make you pay. Have your whole defense yelling out they need a break. Breaking out of tackles, you won't catch them in a foot race. Having coaches mad, thinking that they about to lose it. You think this just hype? Check the stats and he can prove it. They said we couldn't.
And there you have the wise words of Stephen A. Smith. And hey, as I mentioned, we have our panel swap back out. You know who they are because they were the guys who were in the most recent bracket. So we're going to skip introductions and go ahead and move straight into the questions. And we've been talking a lot of Texas football, but Texas basketball suffered its lowest scoring performance since January 19th of 1987 in a 64-41 loss to Georgetown last night. Now, what does this performance mean for the Longhorns, and what can Texas fans expect out of the rest of the season, as they still have a couple of powerhouses to play before they get closer to Big 12 play? What do you make of this, Corey?
I'm just going to say it's not good. They have players out with allegations. They have injuries. Georgetown is a number 15 team, but Texas is not the offense it used to be. Yes, they are tall, they are athletic, but they are raw. They are not developed talent. They have not come together. They are young. I think they have a long way to go before they contend for a championship.
Josh?
I do believe they also have a long way to go. The big thing they're missing right now is a leader. Point guard Mike Kabongo out. He was supposed to be the leader of the team. Those allegations are hurting right now. Javon Felix, I should say, the freshman, he's kind of in limbo right now. He doesn't know what his role is. You have guys like Sheldon McClellan and Julian Lewis stepping up, but the thing people have to remember is that this team is young. With only 2 seniors on the team, the rest are freshmen and sophomores. I think people can expect the Longhorns to struggle early, but then towards the end of the season start to come together and bond and maybe make a tournament run by the end of the season.
All right, so you're making the tournament. Julian, what do you think?
I'll go with Josh on this one. I think they will be able to go into the tournament in March Madness in a couple of months. Like we were saying, they were demolished by a top-ranked team in Georgetown. I mean, Georgetown is one of the biggest, most powerful basketball teams in the NCAA, I can argue. So with that, and they have more powerhouses coming out, they're going to have tough losses. But if Julian Lewis and a couple of others in the basketball team get up and become in that leadership role for the basketball team, I think they can go into make a good tournament run, but not far.
Okay. All right. I like where you guys are coming from. I'm going to go ahead and give a point to Josh and Julian for that one. All right. And sticking right here on the 40 acres, and let's talk about a team that's had a lot of success this season and is doing pretty well, and that's Texas Volleyball. Now, they defeated Colgate and the dreaded rivals Texas A&M, making an appearance back in Gregory Gym over the weekend, and will be taking on Florida Friday night right here in Austin. Now, how do you see the Longhorns doing in the tournament, and how far do you see them going? Let's go ahead and start with Josh on this one.
Garrett, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think this is the year the Longhorns get that coveted national championship. They're playing great volleyball right now, led by Bailey Webster, Hannah Eckerman, and Kat Bell. They're ferocious with the kills. Offense is through the roof. I think the key against Florida, though, is the Florida front line. I remember they were saying that they need to watch those blocks, but I think the offense gets it done and Texas gets the win.
All right, Julian, what do you think?
I think Texas volleyball, like Josh said, is going to the Nationals, and they're going to win it. They have the powerhouses. They have Haley Eggman leading them with the kills. They have Bailey Webster, and they have Hannah Allison helping them with assists, leading the season with assists. And if they just keep the patience, like Coach Elliott said, if they keep the patience going, if they slow the ball down and keep that anxious at a minimum, they can go and win the national championship this year.
All right, Corey, what do you make of this Texas volleyball
I'm going
team?
to have to agree with him because, you have Haley Ackerman leading the hits. She's Big 12 Player of the Year. They were 25-4 on the year with only one loss, and that's after they clinched. They lost 3-2 to Iowa State in the final match of the season. So I think they're really explosive. This team has a lot of potential. I think they go all the way.
All right, so everybody's got Texas going all the way for this year. I guess everybody's going to go ahead and grab a point, which makes things interesting as we head into this final question. And recently, actually just this past week, LeBron James was named Sports Illustrated's Athlete of the Year. Now, panelists, I have to ask you, is there anyone else that you think should have won this award? And even if you think LeBron is the best athlete, make a case for who you think should have been your second best runner-up. We'll go ahead and start with Julian here.
Even though I do hate LeBron, I think he should have won Sports Illustrated. But if I had to pick anybody else, I would have to say Miguel Cabrera. I mean, we have the Triple Crown. This hasn't been done in 45 years. Come on, we haven't seen that. And just seeing him have that potential to go out of the way and beat the Triple Crown, that hasn't been done.
All right, Corey, what do you think?
I'm going to have to agree with him. You have LeBron, you had Finals MVP in 2011 and MVP now or other way around. And despite his receding hairline, he's very athletic. He's leading this powerhouse of a team. Everyone has everything against him, yet he leads this team to the national championship. You have RG3, who's a Heisman winner, who's been playing phenomenally in the NFL. Who's the other possible player? But I think LeBron does deserve it.
Josh?
Well, LeBron did have a great year. I'm going to have to change it up and go with the Sportswoman of the Year. I'm going to have to say Missy Franklin with her performance in the Olympics. 17 years old, winning 4 gold medals and a bronze medal. She's way cooler than I am, and I'm 18. I haven't accomplished that. So I got to go with Missy Franklin. I mean, props to her. And what a phenomenal career she has ahead of her. At only 17, 4 gold medals. Enough said.
All right. I like it. I really like the argument, Josh. But I like the point that Julian is bringing with Miguel Cabrera wins the Triple Crown and leads his team to the World Series. So, definitely got in there. Great arguments by everybody, but I think Julian is going to go ahead and grab the point, and he is going to go ahead and advance on to the final round, which we will have after we take just a brief commercial break right here on College Crossfire.